Let's start with the Central Division. To get some picks here going. The Bucks are minus 420. The Bulls are plus 500. The Cavs are plus 1,000 at 10 to 1. And the Pistons are 200 to 1 at DraftKings. The Pacers are 300 to 1 at DraftKings. I'll just let you have the floor here. Give me your pick. I say the pick first, and then give me the explanation.
So I'm taking the Cavs because, of course, I'm taking the Cavs 10 to 1. I'm taking the Cavs on every podcast and everything, all the Cavs. So here's the explanation. Pistons, Pacers, no. Okay. So I'm out on the Bulls. My Bulls, I know. I'm not as out as I was last year, but I don't think in this race, I don't really put them in it. I give the Bulls about a 5% chance. I do think the Bucks are the correct favorite here, and I think that they should be. I think the Bucks should correctly be the biggest favorite on the board. Even so, I have the Bucks winning somewhere in the 50s, essentially. And the somewhere depends on, do they care? Do they want a 1 seed? Do they want to push for an MVP for Giannis? Do they want to go all out? That is what Bud teams tend to do normally, but also they're still off that championship glow and kind of know, hey, you know what? If Chris had been healthy last year, we might be champions twice in a row right now. Let's just stay healthy and get ready for the playoffs. To me, that's the margin here. If I know teams are just going to try, this is a Bucks or nothing, and that's it. Like, the Bucks are the best team, period. But because of the possibility of that, you know what? The Bucks might leave the door open because I'm not sure this matters a ton to them. I like a lot about the Cavs. We've talked a lot about it. We'll come back more to them later. I like Evan Mobley. I like what the defense is going to look like, and the defense giving a team a very high floor is a thing I'll always keep coming back to. I think the Cavs are still long shots here because the Bucks are that good, but I give the Cavs somewhere around a 20% chance of the division. It's pretty low. That's a low number. You're likely to lose your bet. I think 10 to 1 is just way too long here. I would put them effectively, I guess, for my numbers, I would swap the Bulls and Cavs position in how they're rating the odds here. I think the Cavs, to me, are clearly better than the Bulls. And if the Cavs were at a plus 500, I would feel like that's about right. That's pretty close to where my number is at. So I like them at 10 to 1. That's implied 9%. I have them closer to 20%. So for me, that's getting something like double the value of what the number gives.
Okay. One, Mike Budenholzer absolutely dominates division games.
He sure
dominates them. This is if you follow me along, like, I bet on his division games over and over and over again because for whatever reason, from Atlanta to Milwaukee, he's been absolutely just insane with how good he's been in these categories, in playing these division games. So I have a little bit of skepticism there. On top of it, we're going to talk a lot about this when we get to win totals. I've been sending you and Raj just like random tidbits for weeks now, for about last 10 days. I started pulling all the historical win data in. The most fascinating top line thing, and again, we'll get a lot more into this. I'm going to have some stuff on Action about it. We've used Pythagorean expectation before as this kind of like, they should have won more games last year. I was listening back yesterday to our win total stuff from last year, and my biggest argument for the Jazz was they should have been a 68 win team last year. You're telling me they're going to drop by 17? Yeah, the Jazz went under. That was a big hit for me. If you underperformed expectations based off of your Pythagorean wins, so if you won fewer games than you should have, okay, I actually have this data. The under has hit 37 out of 65 times for 57% of the time. If you want to say that's not enough to bet the under on the Cavs, okay, I'm fine with that. But it definitely leans away from me thinking that they're going to exceed expectations. And their win total is actually pretty low this season relative to where they performed. Like, we were kind of shocked that the Cavs were under. I bet the Cavs right off the gate because of that number was low. Now I'm kind of like standing away from it. The Bucks last year had Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday in the Olympics and then right into the season. I really think that messed with things because you saw Holiday and Middleton go down in that first month of the season. It took them until, honestly, I would say when Lopez got back for them, maybe February, for them to really get back on track, like a month before he got back. I don't necessarily see there being that problem this year. I think that the schedule should be back to a lower number of back-to-backs. The schedule should be lower on the number of 4 and 5s. So for me, you're right that the trying question is important here, but given I still have some skepticism about the Cavs' ability to reach expectations based off of their new standard and whether or not last year was sustainable or not, I'm not betting Bucks minus 420. I'm not laying down 420. This is a pass for me. I will probably include the Bucks in some round robins, but for like low unit plays here as like, hey, if this hits, my payout's really high. I don't like anybody in this division because I think the best bet's the Bucks.